Hello ladies, gentlemen, and my NB friends, and welcome back to the Kelde channel. I'm your host, Persona 3 Addict, and today we're going to be talking about Persona 3 Reload. So recently, and by recently I mean literally yesterday at the time of me making this video, the official Atlas West Instagram account dropped teasers for two new Persona games. One being Persona 5 Tactica, and the other being Persona 3 Reload. One is yet another Persona 5 spinoff, and the other is appearing to be a full remake for Persona 3. The latter of which is what really got me excited. This nearly minute-long trailer really got my attention, and frankly, I have quite a bit to say about it. So without further ado, let's start talking about the Persona 3 Reload teaser. First and foremost, this footage is of an early build. I am not an Atlas shill, nor on their payroll, obviously. But I just want to say that because plenty of people are putting down the graphics of this footage. Like, there's still plenty of time to improve the graphics, and honestly, I don't think it looks that terrible. Anyways, let's start tearing apart the actual things that are worthy of mention. The contents of the teaser. The Unreal Engine logo. I'm kind of surprised that they aren't using the same engine that Persona 5 was built on. Unreal is a reliable engine that plenty of games are built off of, so I won't take this as a bad sign or anything. I mean, it's not the Frostbite engine after all. Hey, look at HD Aegis. A few things of note here. 1. The anime cutscene is being replaced with an in-game cutscene. Persona 5 had anime cutscenes. I mean, they weren't good, but they were there nonetheless. Persona 3's anime cutscenes are, in my opinion, the most stylized and most memorable. So I find it a little odd that they'd have this shot in-game instead of reusing or remaking the original cutscenes. Kind of not too thrilled about that, but hey, the shot looks pretty good. Yeah, later in the trailer, there appears to be the Rooftop Awakening, but as an IGC. While cool to see, I find it odd that they wouldn't use this as a chance to remake or reuse the anime cutscenes. The Persona 3 Awakening cutscene is so good at conveying tons of information to the player, leaving some mystery for you to figure out. It introduces you to the main threat, and it just looks cool. I don't really mind not having the cutscenes in portable because I expected the cutback. Their alternatives were, admittedly, pretty bad, but here the alternative looks fine. It's just a shame that the original Persona 3 style is lost. Also, Aegis's eyes have typically had two layers to the irises. In this shot, she doesn't. I wonder if they'll change that down the road. I really don't think that this series could withstand any more eye inconsistencies. Makoto running through the school looks right out of Persona 5. We also get our first look at the HUD. The only thing I really have to say regarding it right now is the date in the top right has a big weekday behind it. What is the significance of whether or not it's a weekday or not? And what difference does it really make? Like, why did they use this as the background? What a bizarre stylistic choice. Regarding the UI, just look at the shop menu. I get what they were going for, but this menu looks straight out of Persona 5. It's so weird to look at with all of the obvious Persona 3 surrounding it. Like, the Persona 5 menu fits the over-stylized and poppy style that Persona 5 has. It doesn't really fit Persona 3. Persona 3 is a much more somber game in its tone, themes, etc. I don't think seeing much of this sort of UI is going to benefit the feeling that the characters and story are meant to exude. Maybe I'm just being too hard on the idea, and maybe the new UI elements and design will be perfect. Only time will tell, but as of right now, it doesn't look promising for me. And real quick, since I said Makoto running, I want to talk about how dynamic some of the shots are. Like, take this shot of Makoto running out of Gekkoukan. That angle, the framing and the blocking, while can be perceived as simple and has realistically been done before, for Persona 3, it's a first. It really adds a sense of scale to the world that wasn't previously present. I think if you're going to expand on the pre-existing world that Persona 3 inhabits, this is a great way to do it. I mean, just look at this brief shot of Paulownia Mall. Same location that's easily recognizable, has all the same landmarks and outlets that the veteran player would come to expect. But you get this new camera angle and a sweeping shot that really emphasizes the location that I think the original Persona 3 just wasn't able to pull off. Persona 3 is a very atmospheric game, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they can better serve the world and the atmosphere in a narrative sense with the new visuals. Clearly they're putting in effort, and I cannot wait to see how it all pays off. We see here with Junpei that we have new dialogue sprites, and I quite like it. We see this further with shots including Yukari, where we have new outfits for Yukari and Makoto, and what I believe is new dialogue. Here we also see the kitchen. New interactions, new area, potentially more to do around the dorm. I really like the implications of this little moment. Her new dialogue sprite is also really good. Yes, Zaya, the 123rd floor of Tartarus. I am so glad that they decided to bring back the absolute beast that is Tartarus. While seeing that little indicator gives me hope, the floor itself looks a little weird to me. Maybe it's just how they're treating the generation, but the floor looks less obviously random and broken up like it did before. My one wish is that Tartarus remains a giant tower of randomized floors and that they don't add level design. Level design is appropriate in some cases. That said, I greatly prefer Tartarus over Persona 5's palaces, and I don't want them to try and find middle ground. Like, the palaces are fine, but terribly linear. For a game as difficult as Persona 3, I would much rather have the random open spaces that I can just keep grinding in. Also, that said, I really hope that they don't mess up the difficulty of the game. Persona 3 FES is just a very hard game, and that's mostly due to RNG nonsense. Obviously, this remake will likely take after the modern example, but I hope it doesn't get bogged down under pointless features or features that, while good, break the game. No partner co-ops from Persona 3 Portable, and no baton passing from Persona 5. These will mess up the intended pacing that the original Persona 3 has, and will instead make the game too easy in my opinion. I mean, just look at Persona 5. Looking into the battle itself, it looks like when Makoto swings at the end dungeon shadow to initiate the fight, there's some screen shake and a serious effect on the shadow. They really seem to be playing up the impact and feedback for the encounter. It seems to persist into the battle as well. When Yukari and Makoto attack the shadows, you get such a strong feedback to a similar extent. Heavy screen shake and overdone damage effects. I think it's done as a desperate attempt to add style and flair to the battle, but it looks funny. Not in a bad way, it's just something I noticed, and I really don't know how to interpret it really. And the last thing about the battle is that there's a menu for Yukari, meaning that you'll be able to control your teammates. I don't think anyone would have realistically expected otherwise, but it's cool to see that it's not a scale one-for-one remake of Persona 3 or Persona 3 FES, and instead its own beast entirely. I actually quite enjoy that. I think a remake should be the best elements from the different versions and expand on them, if possible. The last thing of note that I really want to draw attention to is that the track for the trailer is a new one. This is a new song that fits right in with Persona 3's soundtrack. I am going to love if they incorporate plenty of new songs into the game for different scenarios that are just straight bops like this. Like when the teaser transitions from the Aiga shot to the actual gameplay and you just hear Lotus Juice start spitting his nonsense again. Like, I kid you not, I had the biggest smile on my face. That's all I really have for this video. I don't have anything else that I want to talk about. There wasn't too much to show, but I am very cautiously optimistic for this remake. I think it will make me and a lot of other Persona 3 fans very happy no matter how they treat it. It seems to hit the bare minimum in terms of Tartarus floors, new sprites and models, a better, more intriguing world, and so on. I'm really excited to see how it plays out. I'm excited to see whether or not the anime cutscenes will make any sort of return, and honestly, I just want to relive Peak. Persona 3 is my second favorite game of all time, and I want to experience it with the same love and care that Persona 5 gets time and time again. But thank you all so much for watching. Once this game comes out, I will probably make another Kelde review on it like I did for FES and Portable. And if more content gets teased, I may make another video discussing the contents if I find it significant enough. Regardless, I think us Persona 3 fans will be eating well soon. Thank you all for watching, and have a great one. Okay, bye-bye.